Now at 6, of course, we had thunderstorms during the morning hours. More thunderstorms for us this evening, plus the winds are really going to pick up and maybe even a little bit of snow. I'm going to have all those details. Plus,
amid heavy rain, a local fire department is offering some tips to stay safe from flooding. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
And students at Pitt State got a look at their potential futures today at the annual Spring Career Fair.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's an early taste of spring weather. This is 530 Road east of Pittsburgh, where runoff from the rain has filled low-lying areas. And more precipitation is ahead, possibly including snow. To top it off, we're expecting potentially damaging wind gusts. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. It's not severe, but the weather has already left some damage, leading to power outages. We're going to have more on that in a moment, but first let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
yeah, that's definitely the biggest aspect of this storm from here on out. It is going to be the wind. Even though we are getting more rain, scattered showers and thunderstorms, nothing too strong, nothing severe. As we go through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 50s, 40s, eventually into the 30s. The wind's not that bad right now, but they're really going to start to pick up as we go through the next few hours, especially after midnight. We're going to have winds gusting 40 upwards to 50, maybe 55 at times, and it stays super windy all the way through the daytime hours on your Wednesday. So we have wind advisory, southern counties, high wind warning, southeastern Kansas, winter weather advisory in the purple, so Joplin north, due to a little bit of light snow. Right now we're dealing with the rain. Look at the dry slot. So we're on the back side of the system. So we're in what is called the calm ahead, and you can see some snow starting to mix in once you get into northeastern Kansas. For us, we're dealing with mainly rain over the next several hours, but eventually after about 10 or 11 p.m., we'll start to get a little bit of light snow mixing in. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but of course, we're going to watch this, and I'm going to break down the entire forecast for you, all coming up here in just a bit.
Catching a few. The strong winds earlier today have already brought down power poles, multiple poles on Hazel Avenue between Airport Drive and Fur Road in Jasper County. Forced a road closure and caused power outages in the area. At last report, repair crews were working to replace the damaged poles. Carthage Water and Electric does not currently list any outages. Authorities have been urging drivers to avoid that area while the repairs were underway. The National Weather Service is highlighting flood safety today during Severe Weather Preparedness Week. Local first responders offer ways to stay safe amid flood risk. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
This time of year, our weather can be very unpredictable. We can get large amounts of rain in a very short period of time.
Alan Brown, the chief of 4 State Search and Rescue, knows just how dangerous flooding can become, as he's responded to many flood-related emergencies around the 4 State area.
I remember was down around the Neosho area, and we were able to pull a family out of a car that was almost completely submerged in water.
He says those moments are some that he'll never forget.
It's hard to forget the look of relief on somebody's face when you pull them out of that situation.
And while he was able to save some lives, he says that's not always the case.
For somebody to be in a situation that it turns into a recovery, and we realize that can be the reality sometimes. Our hope is that we can make it a rescue before it becomes a recovery.
The fire chief for the city of Miami and his team often respond to flood-related emergencies. Chris Chenoweth says with a flood-prone city, their department is familiar with water rescues.
Pretty quickly, we can lose access to several thousands of our residents. So State Highway 125 will flood, and that adds 5 or 6 minutes at least to our response time to the south end of town. So when you're in an emergency, that 5 or 6 minutes could be super valuable.
The fire chief says sometimes floodwaters can be a bigger risk than people realize. He says it only takes a couple inches of water on the roads to cause an emergency.
6 inches of water is all it takes to knock you off your feet. So if you start walking across flood water and it gets, has washed the road out and you're driving, then you're in trouble before you can do anything.
And it only takes about a foot of water to sweep away an average car. He says if you're driving and you do happen to come across floodwater,
turn around and go back home and wait. Don't ever drive across the water.
Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
According to weather.gov, floods kill more people in the U.S. each year than any other thunderstorm-related hazard. Miami residents will soon have a chance to learn more about a proposed bioprocessing project near Quapaw. Argo Development Partners, along with the Miami Area Economic Development Service, will host an open house for the Oklahoma Bioprocessing Project. That open house will provide an overview of the project, which aims to convert poultry litter into renewable natural gas and fertilizer. Also give the public a chance to ask questions. The open house is going to take place Tuesday, March 11th, a week from tonight, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Miami Civic Center. Pittsburgh State University hosted its annual spring fair today. Recruiters from a variety of industries gathered at the Plaster Center to connect with students of all majors and classifications. The Office of Career Development organized the event to give students the chance to network, explore internships, and pursue job opportunities. For event organizers, networking is the name of the game.
All in one room. It takes out the part of going to employer to business. They're all in one location where they can make those connections and multiple multiple connections.
140 companies participated in that event. The Fairland Boys High School basketball team hopes to party like it's 1925. John Dales has more on the Owls' hoop dreams coming up later in sports, but up first.
With the warmer days ahead of us, it may mean more cyclists on the road. I'm Lonnie Walton in Joplin. I spoke to experts on how you and cyclists can remain safe on the roadway. Stick around, I have the details coming up.
Warmer weather is going to be here soon, which means more motorcycles are going to hit the roads. According to MoDOT, last year there were 133 fatalities involving cyclists just in Missouri. KOAM's Lonnie Walton talked to motorcyclists in Joplin about safety measures we all should follow to protect ourselves and others.
Car pulled out in front of me. I assumed they were going to turn right, and instead they turned left.
Dave Staso is a motorcyclist and the owner of Scooter Dave's in Joplin. He said he almost lost his life when he was just 17.
I was accelerating to go around them. My bike hit their car. Me and the bike flipped over the car, landed on the pavement.
To help prevent incidents like Dave's, Caitlin Gittiland from Pitbull Power Sports in Joplin says everyone should follow a few tips.
To look at 360 all the way around, making sure you're looking over your shoulder whenever you're going into another lane. Most people just look in their mirror and think that they're good.
And according to Dave, just knowing the rules is not enough. You may need some additional training also.
They are very dangerous if you don't know how to ride them, so you should take a class if you've never rode before.
Both Gittiland and Staso say motorcyclists should make sure the weather is good before getting on the bike.
It's not so good of a day, but once that weather hits back up in the 60s in the next couple days, you're going to see everybody out on their bikes.
Of course, always with road conditions, adjust your riding based on road conditions with weather.
And most importantly, Staso says you really need to look out for yourself.
Cycles are on their own. You have to ride a bike like you're invisible and nobody else will see you, because 90% of the time they won't see you, so you have to protect yourself.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
According to MoDOT, although most crashes happen in urban areas, most fatal motorcycle incidents happen in rural areas. A little bit later, the Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce brings the flavors and charms of Italy to southeast Kansas.
Plus, we have more showers and thunderstorms and wind, which is going to be rotating in tonight. Details coming up. Well, of course, kind of a nasty spring-ish day for us today. We're in March, so meteorologically, it is the beginning of spring just a few days ago. And we had thunderstorms during the morning hours, some of those definitely on the strong side. We still have scattered showers and a few thunderstorms out there this evening. Some of these may contain some small hail, but not anticipating anything too strong or severe. It's a little too cold. Temperatures sliding back through the 40s, eventually into the 30s, and we'll have periods of showers and thunderstorms over the next several hours. Plus the wind's really going to get moving. Wind advisory, Oklahoma, southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas. High wind warning in this kind of pinkish purplish color, and then in the bluish purple color, this is a winter weather advisory due to a little bit of snow trying to work in a little bit later on tonight. Look at the wind switching around out of the northwest, so now we have the cooler air, which is going to be funneling in. The winds aren't too bad right now, but here over the next couple hours, the winds are really going to start to pick up. So we're going to have gusts 40 to 50, maybe hit 55. And when you're getting gusts like that, that's very close to severe thunderstorm strength winds. So the winds stay very strong tonight, all the way through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. All right, rainfall, most of us in the green, we've hit about an inch. That was pretty average. But then once you find the yellows and the oranges, areas picking up 3-4 inches. So we've had quite a bit of rain over the past 12 hours or so. Periods of showers, even a few thunderstorms out there right now. Again, nothing strong, nothing severe. You can see southeastern Kansas where you do get the yellows. That is the little bit heavier rain. Not too much in Oklahoma. Joplin has a thunderstorm, and then once you get south of I-44, it's pretty clear at this point in time. But look at the back edge, the calm ahead of this storm system. So as the colder air filters in, we'll eventually see a transition from rain over to a little bit of snow. Let me take you through time. 8:30 p.m., scattered showers and thunderstorms. You can see the pink, a rain-snow mix trying to take over by 11 or 11:30, and then we'll have periods of light snow as we go through the night. And all this will be gone by morning. A lot of it's going to melt as it comes down. It's really going to have to come down very heavy for it to really accumulate. Now, with the winds, if you are going to be out tonight, even though we're not getting much snow, it will be near blizzard-like conditions. Blizzard has to do with wind. It doesn't have to do with how much snow we get, because we're not going to get much. Most of us a trace, meaning a dusting. So if you put your hand over 1 inch, we should get a dusting. Upwards to an inch isolated in spots. As we go into Wednesday, sunshine returns. Let's go high temps into the mid 40s. So it is going to be cooler, and it's going to be very windy as we go into your Wednesday. But it gets better. We warm back up, 56 on Thursday. Let's go 65 on Friday. A few showers, cooler on Saturday. Back near 70 almost every day next week. So it's going to be very spring-like for us over the next 10 days. But yeah, tonight the winds are going to be a problem, and they're going to be strong.
People have to be careful, but that snow, it doesn't really stand much of a chance.
No, and even if it's light snow, it's just going to be blowing around. So
good point. Thanks, Doug. Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You know you can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone. It's absolutely free of charge, and boy, that's going to be really important as we head into spring. You'll find it in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Still ahead, several members of the Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball teams receive all MIAA honors, and Fairland boys basketball makes its final preparations before heading to the state tournament. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Fairland boys high school basketball has not made the state tournament in 100 years. No, seriously, 1925 is the first and only time that the Owls made it to state. That is, until this past weekend. Fairland High School basketball hits the practice floor this afternoon. The Owls are coming off a win over Wyandotte in the final round of the area tournament to finish as runner-up. And that means this Thursday, Fairland is set to face Hartshorn in the first round of the 2A state tournament in Oklahoma City. That's a journey that's been quite literally 100 years in the making.
The last 2 years we've been 2 games away both times, in games we thought we should have won, and just to finally make it and actually be here is crazy. It's a blessing, to be honest. I mean, everyone else's season's ending, a couple teams left, only a couple more games left. So, we're just grateful that we're still playing.
They're ready to go. I mean, they're calm. They're having a good time. I mean, this team's so close. I mean, they all look out for each other. They're just ready to leave tomorrow and get down there and play at 10:30 on Thursday.
Over in Kansas, we're into the semifinal round of sub-state tournament for all classes, and we've got a ton of our local teams in action this evening. We'll get started with the 3A girls sub-state semifinals. Winner of these contests will meet in the championship game in Columbus on Friday. Number 1 seed Girard hosts 9 seed Riverton, then 5th seeded Caney Valley heads on the road up to Burlington. Elsewhere, the Lady Streaks of Neodesha are at home tonight. They're playing host to 7 seed Prairie View, and fresh off an upset of Jayhawk Lynn in the quarterfinals, Frontenac hopes for another. Raiders play in Cherryville tonight. On the boys' side, Class 4A, Parsons is at home tonight. Vikings host the 8th seed. They're hosting Eudora. 3 seed Chanute is also at home. Blue Comets face Wamego, hoping to move on to the sub-state championship on Friday. And Class 2A, boys semifinals take place this evening as well. Colgan heads on the road to number 1 seed Oswego. Southeast hosts West Elk. We'll have highlights from that contest later tonight at 9 and at 10. And the MIAA releases its all-conference basketball teams this afternoon, and this comes just 1 day prior to the MIAA basketball tournament in Kansas City. Here's a look at our local players to receive all-conference honors. PSU teammates Corinna Gerber and Grace Pyle, each of them are on the first team. Ryan Franklin from Missouri Southern and Macy Mays from Pitt State are on the third team. Then Caitlin Honeycutt and Harper Schreiner, each of them receive honorable mentions. In addition to being on the first team, Gerber is on the all-defense team, and Pitt State's Amanda David, well, she's named MIAA Coach of the Year. On the men's side, Pitt State sophomore Jordan Friesen, he's not only first team all-conference, he's also named MIAA Player of the Year. His teammate Avery Taggart is a second-team honoree. Pitt State's RJ Forney receives honorable mention, in addition to being featured on the all-defense team, and Martin Macinas from Missouri Southern, he's their lone representative after getting an honorable mention. And that's it for sports. We're back after this.
Quick programming note, coverage of the President's address to both chambers of Congress tonight might delay our later broadcasts. KOIM News at 9 on Fox 14 is scheduled to begin later than its usual time. Our 10 o'clock news here on Channel 7 might also start a bit late. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOIM News at 9 on Fox 14. Spring is just around the corner, and that means allergy season for many. We're going to have the latest estimates from experts suggesting this season might be longer than usual. Plus, the auto industry buckles up for the possible impacts of a tariff-induced trade war. And some kids in Southwest Missouri test their skills against Mother Nature for severe weather preparedness week. Those stories, a lot more, it's coming up tonight. KOIM News at 9 on Fox 14, a little later than usual. Today, the Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce invited the public out to experience the flavors and charms of Italy. The chamber hosted a Taste of Tuscany, an event featuring Tuscan cuisine, Italian atmosphere, and they say great company. The event also served as a way for the chamber to promote its upcoming international getaway trip to Tuscany. Right here in the 4 states, we have a bit of spring-like weather to deal with.
Yeah, we're still getting scattered showers and thunderstorms over the next several hours. The winds really pick up gusts over 50 for us tonight and even on Wednesday, and we're also going to switch over to some light snow, mainly after 10 p.m. tonight.
I hope that's the last we see for the season.
I highly doubt it.
Oh, I shouldn't have asked. Final sports note.
Missouri Southern baseball gets back in the win column this afternoon. Lions beat Newman 11-0.
All right, good for them. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here at 10 or thereabouts. Let's make it a great evening.